Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a good day so far. This is our first video for 3-point lesson for Unit 3 and Lesson 3.1, and we're going to be simplifying expressions. So if we take a look at our I can statement, it simply states I can simplify expressions using properties of operations. Okay, here's our agenda right here. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but just basically we're going to review those key properties that we need to use, and then we're going to do two example problems with combining like terms and distributing. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is talk about the properties. And the first property let's talk about is the commutative property of addition. Okay, so the commutative property, basically what it's saying is, if you look over here at a plus b equals b plus a, is that when you're adding, you can add in any order you want. Okay, so you can switch it around, switch the order of which way you add. So for example, if you have 2 plus 3, you can switch the order around of 2 plus 3 and make it 3 plus 2 if you wanted to, if that would make it easier for you. So 2 plus 3 is the same thing as 3 plus 2, and if you solve it, 2 plus 3, that equals 5. 3 plus 2, that equals 5. They both equal the same thing. So with the commutative property, you can add in any order you want, and it's always going to equal the same thing. Similarly, kind of with the associative property, that's more about grouping. Okay, so with the associative property of addition, this also works with multiplication, but we're talking about just addition right now. With the associative property of addition, it's going to change the way you group your parentheses. Okay, we've always been told with the order of operations, okay, that you do parentheses first. Okay, but with addition, if you have all addition, you can change where your parentheses go. So right now, A is associated with B. A and B, we're adding A and B together first, then we're going to add C afterwards. I could change where my parentheses are to over and associate B with C. So B and C are associated together, so I can do B plus C first in my parentheses, and then I'll add A. And no matter what I do, I'll get the same answer. So if you look over here, 2 plus 3 plus 4. So if I have 2 plus 3 in my parentheses, I'm going to add those up. That's going to give me 5. So now I have 5 plus 4, and that gives me 9. So now let's do the associative property of addition. Let's kind of regroup it, group these two numbers together instead, and see if we get the same answer. 3 plus 4, that is 7. 2 plus 7, that's 9. You get the exact same answer. So that's what the associative property of addition does. Let's look at another really important property, and that's the distributive property. And the distributive property is very important because we'll end up using this a lot in the future when we're solving equations. Okay, so the distributive property is when you have multiplication outside of these parentheses. Okay, so I have A times everything that's inside B plus C. Okay, inside these parentheses, which is B plus C. So I have A times all of this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this A and multiply it by both pieces inside the parentheses. I'm going to take A times B, and I'm also going to take A times C, and then I'm going to add them together because of this addition sign right here. Okay, so A times B is AB, A times B, then plus, because of this addition sign, so plus A times C, which is AC. Okay, so that's the distributive property. Okay, you take the number outside the parentheses, you distribute it to both pieces inside the parentheses, or all pieces. You could have more than two, and that's what and then you just simplify from there. So for example, let's look at this. I have 2 times 5 plus 3. I could still solve it like the order of operation tells me to do. I could still just do my parentheses first and then multiply. 5 plus 3 is 8. So then I still have my 2 times my parentheses, so I have 2 times 8, which is 16. That's one way to do it. I could also use the distributive property. I could take this 2 and distribute it to the 5, and I can also take this 2 and distribute it to the 3. 2 times 5 plus, and the reason why I'm adding is because I have that plus sign in the middle, plus 2 times 3. Okay, and there's my 2 times 3. Now I'll just simplify this piece right here. 2 times 5, that's 10. 2 times 3, that is 6. So now I have 10 plus 6, which is 16. Again, you get the same answer. Okay, so that's the review of the distributive property. So let's look at 2 examples. Okay, using these properties that we just learned. Okay, so this first example is 4x plus 3 plus 2x minus 5. And notice the grouping. So I have this in parentheses and this in parentheses. So my first step is I want to get rid of those parentheses. So I can't really simplify inside the parentheses, can I? Can I do anything with 4x plus 3 or 2x minus 5? I can't. Okay, so what I'm going to do to get rid of the parentheses, I'm going to distribute to get rid of the parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to distribute whatever's outside the parentheses to get rid of them. And right now there's no numbers out there, so what we could do, we could always just write a 1 out there. Always write a 1. 1 times 4x plus 3, that's just 4x plus 3. Okay, 1 times 2x minus 5, that's just 2x minus 5. So what we just did is we basically just erased the parentheses. We don't even need them. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to use the commutative property, okay, to place like terms together. So I'm going to make this problem look a little bit more simple. Okay, and what I mean by like terms is 4x and 2x, those are like terms. They both have the common variable of x. 3 and negative 5, they don't have a common variable. So these are like terms as well. I mean, they don't have a variable, so they are like terms because they're just regular numbers. Okay, so what we have is, when we just regroup them, we're going to use the commutative property, change the order. I have 4x plus 2x, just moved it over, and I got plus 3 minus 5, and that's it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do for my final step is combine those like terms that we just talked about. Okay, so when I combine 4x and 2x, 4x plus 2x, that's just 6x. Okay, I'm just keeping the variable, adding the coefficient. Okay, 3, negative 5, positive, so what's 3 minus 5? That's negative 2. So now I have 6x minus 2, and we're done. I cannot simplify this anymore. I do not get an answer. This is my final answer. Okay, it does not go down to just one number. Because these are different types, these are not like terms, I cannot simplify it any further. So the final answer would be 6x minus 2. Okay, so now let's look at a second type of problem. We're going to have to use the distributive property because we're going to have to distribute this negative first. Because again, I want to get rid of these parentheses, so I'm going to distribute that negative sign to get rid of the parentheses this time. So I'm going to use the distributive property just like before. Okay, let's switch the color here. Let's go to yellow. There we go. Okay, so because if I distribute a 1 right here, 1 times 3x plus 4, that's just 3x plus 4. Okay, but now I have a negative sign here. So if I put this 1 here, that's like having a negative 1 in front instead of just a 1. Okay, so negative 1 times 2x is actually going to be negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 5, I have a negative times a negative, that's actually going to change it to a positive 5. Okay, so now I have 3x plus 4 minus 2x, because remember, it changed the sign, negative 1 times positive is a negative, plus 5. So 3x plus 4 minus 2x plus 5. Okay, if we notice, whenever you have a negative outside of the parentheses and you have to distribute that negative, really what you're doing is you're just changing the signs, whatever's inside. Okay, so if it's a positive, it becomes a negative, like so. If it's a negative, it's going to become a positive, like so. Now, we just do the same thing that we did in the problem before. We're going to use the commutative property to arrange the like terms together. Okay, so my like terms are this 3x, negative 2x, okay, and then my other like terms would be 4, 5. So let's just rearrange it, okay. So we have 3x minus 2x plus 4 plus 5. And now we can simplify by combining those like terms. Okay, whoops, there we go. So 3x minus 2x, that's 1x or just x. Okay, 4 plus 5, that's 9. And we're done, x plus 9. We can't simplify that any further, okay, because we don't know what x is. And that's pretty much it, you guys. That's how we simplify expressions. The biggest thing is to distribute, rearrange everything so you can then combine your like terms. Okay, one more thing I want to talk about real quick is fractions and decimals. They are the exact same thing, same exact process, no different. Okay, so if I have 1/2 x minus 2 plus 2x plus 4, okay, I'm still going to combine my like terms. Just because I have a fraction, it doesn't change the process. Here's a like term, here's a like term. Okay, if I combine 2x and 1/2 x, that's 2.5x. 2.5x minus 2 plus 4, that's plus 2. And this would be done right here. So fractions and decimals is the exact same process. It doesn't change anything. Okay, and that's all for this lesson, you guys. Hope it went well, and good luck to you.